All right, y'all. So I saw last night the movie Him, starring Tariq Withers and Marlon Wayans, and I'd say it's a pretty good movie. A bit on the nose for me with its comparisons to what it was trying to say. What the central message was for the movie, that basically football is a religion and the players are practically deified, and all the religious allegories and comparisons in the movie. It was pretty on the nose, but I don't really see that as a bad thing. I like on the nose stuff. Okay. Oh, that's not. Oh gosh, that sounds like I like drugs. No, 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 no. I like when the lessons are on the nose. I don't like on the nose stuff. Anyway, the the movie was very blatant. I mean, there was a review in The Guardian, and about half of its review said that it was on the nose, and that was pretty accurate. Now, I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna buy the DVD. I didn't fall in love with the movie. It didn't blow my mind like seeing Us, but it's about where Nope is. The other Jordan Peele movie. It's about where Nope is. It was well done, and it was a good movie. So it got a low score on Rotten Tomatoes, but like Marlon Wayne said, it that low score is unwarranted. And even if it does have a low score on Rotten Tomatoes, those a lot of those movies that he's done that got a low score went on to become classics, like Don't Be a Menace to South Central and White Chicks and Scary Movie 2. Those got a low score. We love them movies. Same thing with this movie. It got a low score, but I went to see it. I already saw it. It's a good movie. I'm not saying it's gonna blow your mind or nothing, but it's a good movie. I went and seen it. It's good. But yeah, it's basically the plot is Marlon Wayne's character is like a Tom Brady type, and he's like already won rings, and he's world famous, and a lot of stuff rides on his back. So he goes for the winning drive, and while when that happens, he something snaps, and he gets taken out of the game, and almost all of people's hopes are done. But then he goes to rehab, gets that fixed, and goes on to win like eight rings, and he's like solidified as a GOAT. But he's thinking about retiring, and pops the new breed, Tariq Williams' character, Cameron Cade, to Marlon Wayne's character, Isaiah White. So we are bringing up a new GOAT, and he has all the talent for that to come up, for that to happen, for him to become the new GOAT. But an accident happens to him in the movie, and they're giving him the choice of either get out the game or go to rehab and go on to glory, become the new GOAT. So he chooses rehab, and he goes on to train with the Isaiah White. And from there, Cameron Cade finds out what the game is really about, and how deep it goes, and how serious they take football there. And between those lessons, it gets real freaking crazy. Okay, that's where the horror part comes in, when he finds out just how deep it is in the minds of people that football isn't just a game. I mean, Isaiah White just flat out says this ain't no game. They take it real serious. And from that point, a lot of crazy stuff happens, and at the end, there's like a really freaking bloody massacre finish. type of deal at the end. And that's pretty much the movie. I mean, it doesn't go on to where you see him play a lot of games in football and he goes on to win a lot of rings and stuff. And we find out, is he going to be the next GOAT or not? It's not that type of movie. This is pretty much the type of movie to show you the evils of hero worship and the evils of the sports industry and what it does to its players, how it chews them up and spits them out. A lot of lessons in hero worship, and mainly that, like they said in that movie Varsity Blues, football is like a way of life to them. It is a way of life. Matter of fact, it is a straight up religion. It's a religion. I think they said that in the Express movie. Yeah, the movie The Express. I think they said football is a religion, and in this movie, it's very blatant. Football is a straight up religion. I mean, in the movie, he just flat out says, "Welcome to church." And from that point on, you get a whole lot of comparisons to religion in this movie through the lens of football. you get a lot of comparisons to gladiator combat too. I mean, there's a guy that's in charge of the medicine and getting people back into shape. He says that football is the newest iteration to the gladiator arena. There's even a comparison from Isaiah that says warriors back in the day would have like a legendary warrior, and they'll think that he's some deified version of somebody, and they'll take his blood and put it into the new upcoming people so that the blood gets passed down to become the new becomes the next great warrior. And yeah, the movie is pretty blatant on sending that message home to you as well. So yeah, they make a lot of gladiatory comparisons, and there's even a time where they collide helmets, and it shows like a sort of X-ray type of deal as to what collisions actually do to the mind and what it does to the skull and the damage it does to the human body. I like that part. That was a pretty good style choice that they chose there to show it through X-rays when they collide with each other. I like that part. When you see that, it's pretty interesting to see that. But yeah, it does a lot of comparisons to religion. There's the constant indoctrination, like in the first part of the movie where Cameron's watching the stuff as a kid, and all the families around them, and they're whispering in his ear saying that's what it takes to be a real man. That's what it means. You make sacrifices. And there goes the imagery that football is a religion, because, you know, a real man makes sacrifices. They say that a lot in that movie. The idea of a sacrifice, which is also brings up the talk of them making these football people deities. Like the fans worship these football stars, that's their God in their mind. In their mind, that's their God, that's their savior. And they make a lot of comparisons there because I mean, in the movie they have a lot of talk about the GOAT, who's going to be the next GOAT, and it's very blatant because a GOAT is often viewed as a sacrifice. So who's going to be the next GOAT that the industry is going to sacrifice for the glory of football, for the glory of the who's going to be the next gladiator. So it's a lot of that in this movie. It shows also in the movie how you, like religion, you don't question what the coach says. You don't question what the people are telling you. No matter how crazy it gets, no matter how much you disagree, don't question it. Just do it. Kind of like some religions. Don't question what your God says. Just do it. Just do what I say. Hey, I'm not saying that's what anyone's religion is like. I'm just saying, in the movie, they make the point where you don't question stuff. You just do as you're told. So they made that comparison through the lens of football. They even made some religious imagery where the medicine person says there was one time where there was a collision so bad that the brain bleed came through a guy's tear ducts. And if you could think about that, where the blood comes through the tear ducts, it's kind of reminiscent of Jesus in the garden praying so hard that blood came out of he started crying blood, right? The comparison you see. There's even some imagery of a final supper going on right before the final sacrifice type of deal, and there's imagery in the movie like that too. It's a lot of religious comparisons in that movie. There's a holy blood remark. So yeah, it gets crazy. These savior allegories, I mean, the team that Isaiah plays for and that Cameron Cade wants to play for is called the Saviors. I mean, it doesn't get more blatant. Like I said, the movie is very blatant. So yeah, the team is called the Saviors. So it's right on the head with the messaging. The guy, Cameron Cade, he has a Jesus piece, so that's about as subtle as it gets in this movie. Everything else is super blatant. But yeah, there's a lot of on the nose stuff in this movie. It's pretty blatant, but it filters it through the lens of football, how a lot of people worship these folks and see them as deities and stuff like that, and how the industry makes these deities, but really they're just the next sacrifice and stuff like that. But that's pretty much the movie. It's an interesting way to show that point towards people. It's an interesting way to do it through sports horror. And by the way, choosing Marlon Wayans to be in a sports horror, that was a good choice. Okay, because it's a lot of crazy stuff happening, a lot of real crazy stuff happening in this movie, and you got a comedian to show how this stuff is happening, and it brings a creep factor just a little bit above when you got a comedian doing it. It brings a higher level of creepiness to it. Now that it's a comedian doing it. When you watching the movie, you'll see it. If you decide to watch the movie, you'll see that having Marlon Wayans do all this crazy stuff, do all this horror stuff, oh yeah, it makes it just a tad bit more creepy to see somebody who's normally supposed to be funny do this stuff. But yeah, it's a good movie. It's good. Now, I'm not saying I'm gonna rush to Walmart to buy the DVD, but yeah, it's a good movie. It shouldn't get a low score on Rotten Tomatoes, but I never base my decision making off of Rotten Tomatoes. I want to see it myself, and I'm glad I did. So yeah. Oh, also it was a little bit of, I don't know, slavery type of talk in there with Isaiah White's girl. I don't. Maybe that's just me, but I felt as though his girl being somebody that sells stuff and she has a black man. It was a little bit of slavery type of comparisons there, like almost as if Marlon Wayne's character was her new black bull that she wanted to sell to the owners of football. They wanted to show him off and sell him to the owners of football. I may it maybe that's not what the movie was saying, but that's what I was seeing in there. So you can make your own judgments on that. But yeah, it was a good movie. I liked the movie Him. That was some pretty good stylish stuff that they tried to say to the crowd. I liked it.